set up here. Got a double pulley at the bottom and the top. So we got, you can see the two bearings there and the three flanges, kind of like a double, like a Whopper piece of bread at the bottom, the middle, and the top, and the two bearings in the middle represent pieces of hamburger meat patties. And so there it is. It's very loose right now because there's no weight on it. We have to keep it spring tension so that the strings are never loose like this, but here's the second one. It's matching exactly that, the same exact formulation I built it. Although this one I made the flanges circular. Same construction method. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this thing in action. It looks amazing. I mean, in theory it would, but how we got the real thing to test is so fun. I don't know how theory and testing would be wildly different. Okay, so check it out. So the motor would be pulling where my right hand is now. So watch how much. Look at the distance between here and here. It's only about like 6 or so. What's it? Yeah, we would be about that distance. That's about 10 centimeters. Now watch how much distance we get. Realism. Alright, it reached the top. Okay, so it was this far. That is 30, about 40 centimeters. It's a long way. What inches was that? 15 inches. Yeah, we can't do 64 to 1. If we want 0.3 inches as the final output, 0.35 times 64, that'd be 22 inches, but we only got 15 inches, so we're 7 inches shy. Unless we wrap it one more time. We could try to wrap it one more time. Or we could just stick with 32 to 1 pound ratio by removing one pulley from the system. Okay, so this is about the distance we want for 11 inches. Draw. So anyways, I just want to give you guys a little demonstration update. It's working great. Shocking. It's not shocking, but I mean, it's like, you know, really nice to finally put my ideas to practice and get to see massive success. I shouldn't be surprised, but it's still exciting when theory meets practice. Okay, I just watched this all day, man. So it's awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. So we've now got these two, which we, instead of putting them like beneath the top one beneath this one, we basically moved this up and just put them as one double pulley. And we were able to remove this because this one serves as the center point for both bearings. So I just joined these two like this to make it a double wide. That's how I did it. And then the same with these two, instead of having them beneath each other, we made it a double wide. So that's where we're at. So we've got 4 done. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just got to add 3 more. We're taking 1 off because this one would have made it 64 to 1. We're just going 32 to 1. Unless if I were to figure something out here to make this go further. It need to go 22 inches of draw. To be 64 to 1 because I want my total movement to be 0.35 inches to make the finger go like that. For the robot's finger to move like this much. It needs to be just like that one, that much string pull at the very end of the pulley down here. So the motor's going to be really. But then the finger all the time is just moving like that. But the motor moves so fast, the finger still moves faster. So anyways, pulleys give you more mechanical advantage. You're doing pulleys instead of gears because gears are loud, pulleys are silent. Also, gears would all be located right beneath your motor here, and that would mean you could fit less motors in, whereas the pulleys are so flat and tiny and elongated, unlike gears, which would be bulky and right beneath the motor. You can place the pulleys elsewhere that you have room, like in between these 2 bones, or just some little odd nook or cranny you can find for it, because they don't take much space. They're just like elongated and super tiny. So they're better for squeezing into these long, narrow limbs of a human body than gears would be, which are big and blocky. Can't be moved from where the servo output shaft is. They're mounted right there. The gearbox being right there is not a good place for it, because then the motor with the gearbox takes up way too much space, and then you can't fit as many motors because of that. I tape everything off to keep all the string nice and snug here. Let's flip this up. Good. Our business. Ow. I just had. This is a 2-scale metric ruler. So it'll give you centimeters and millimeters. Let me see what the total length needs to be. About 10 centimeters. So we're just going over this one, we're taking this one out. This would be 64 to 1 down carrying. This one just is at 32 to 1 down carrying. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us 32 to 1. It's, I guess you calculate 2 to the 5th power is actually how it works. 2 to the 5th. Yeah. 2 to the 5th power. That's how the down carrying calculates. 2 to the 6th power. If you put it in like 2 to the 6th power equals 64. 2 to the 5th power is 32. So we're if we have 5 pulleys, it gives us 32 to 1 down here. detailed look at it. See how I taped off the arm, extra string. This one will be wound up by the motor. This one will wrap around the next pulley line. You can see it's threaded through. Just with the sewing needle, I'm able to punch it through this plastic here. See, I did it different on this one. I just went through the plastic, and then through the bearing, then through the middle plastic, then through the bearing, then through the bottom plastic. And I brought it through and tied it off. Then I coated, then I did the same thing with this black string, this black nylon upholstery thread. Went through the plastic, through the middle bearing, through the second plastic, through the middle bearing, through the second bearing, through the final plastic at the bottom, and then I tied it off at the top. You can see the knot where my tip of my thumb is. There's a knot. Then all the string up to here where the knot is, including the knot, I coated in super glue using the tip of a sewing needle to just carefully apply small amounts of super glue. And I did that the same for this. So you can actually see that it's got super glue coating. Should have a bit of a murky shadowy look to it. So it's stiff. And the reason for that is so that the knots won't untie, and also so that the string will maintain the orientation of the bottom of the pulley with the string. So these pulleys won't rotate at all. Only the bearings inside the pulleys will rotate, but the flanges won't rotate. And the reason I wanted that is because this string at the top here actually goes around the top. You can see after it pierces through the center, it actually ties off through the top. Now the upholstery thread goes through all three through the center and wraps around the top, up through the center here. So it goes all the way around and up through the center here. And we want this string, the yellow string on either side, to straddle it without rubbing on it. So we need to make sure that this black string stays equidistant between these two strings. In order to make sure that happens, we glued it to this plastic with super glue. And it's even glued to the tip of the center flange, the center plastic disc, so that there's no way the black string could kind of work its way over clockwise or counterclockwise over time and start rubbing against this, which would either cut the black string or cut the yellow string by the rubbing. So this way, the yellow string only touches the outer race of the bearing inside, but it never touches other string. We never want it to be rubbing string on string. So that's why I did the gluing, and it worked out great. So far, anyways. I mean, it's like this is going to need to be put through the tremendous amount of testing. Like, we'd want to have the motor turn, and then reverse, and then turn, and then reverse like thousands of times to see how this holds up in order to like make sure it's really solid and just observe maybe how long it takes to wear out or whatever. Next thing I want to do is tie off this string, which is through my visor. It's a lot easier to see what you're doing with the visor. I'm dealing with a lot of tiny stuff here. It's so tiny at this point. Bad. The string popped out of my needle last time. I noticed that before I pulled the needle all the way through. Waste. Hey, Football. Right now I'm making the pulley-based down gearing system for my brushless DC motor for my humanoid robot for the index finger. Basically, this string here is what we're dealing with. You can see that the way I've got it in the model, it just stops in that empty space. Obviously this needs to be tied off. So I'm stitching the end of the string into the bone sleeve fabric. Oops. Got a little motor here. There's my attention. Nice. That looks clear. Just gonna not pull this one all the way through. Just pull the part way through so we can tie it off in time. Same knot as you tie your first knot of tying your shoe. Just do that a couple times. Doesn't have to be ideal knot for me. I just can't to learn all these knots. What I'll do after I did that twice, I pull this through, and then I'll pull through the other one, and I can tie it off somewhere else and pull through again. Each time it pulls through, it's getting way more friction, because it's like touching all the sticky stuff, it's taping the fabric onto the bone. So if you add enough friction with the knot, the knot will be able to gradually untie. Pull it through one more time. Get cut it off. it's tied off now. So the string's tied off. So we got this one done, this one done, done, done. Done. So now we just got to do these three. We're getting rid of this one, we don't need it. I don't think we need it anyways. For a long time, I thought of not using it. 64 to 1 down gearing. I mean, that would mean the motor would have to reel in 22 inches of string, which is almost 2 feet. My question is, even as fast as the motor is, would that cause the movement of the finger like this to be too slow? We want it to have good speed, but also really good strength. It doesn't have to be insanely fast, but it does need to be very strong. I want it to be as strong as human level strength. And I prefer it to be faster than human level speed too. But I think strength has a slight edge over speed as far as bargains. This is one big beefy 200 watt motor just for this. So you'd think you wouldn't have to downgrade it that much because it's so big already. Probably puts out a decent torque just because of the size. Just look at it next to my finger. It's just going to be causing this part. Something that big to do that. You'd almost think you could do it without even getting down here first. It's just such a big device. A lot of power running through it. I think we should try to make some more pulleys. Show you guys, I guess, that process. So again, pulley making, we start with just some plastic. This is literally from, let's just say a strawberry container, but strawberries, blueberries, sushi. Those clear plastic containers they put produce in. It's used for all kinds of stuff as packaging. If you bought a pocket knife from Cabela's, they would have this stuff with like a printed form behind it. Just a sandwich, a piece of paper that has the printing of the logo and stuff of whatever product you're buying. It's like super common. The reason that it's perfect for the little discs of pulleys because it's thin, it's clear, you can see what's going on, you can see what your tolerances are, you can inspect things well. But mainly, it's also flexible, but mostly rigid. So if it did get smashed, it wouldn't bend. Like, if this were metal, it could get bent and just stay bent, but this would like bounce back. So it's got some forgiveness. If the robot were to fall down and smash one of these pulleys, it wouldn't break it. So just cutting it. Just forming it. A circle doesn't have to be even close to perfect, but getting rid of sharp edges. Top set of pulleys, which I made in my last video about making pulleys, we just made it square because it's not going to be moving, but these ones actually are going to be moving as they slide up and down the rubber. They actually move, and so I wanted them round so that they don't snag on things. Sharp edges could cause it to snag. My work table is my stomach, specifically this post-it notepad on my stomach where I put that little part. That's my work table. It's very funny. Okay. Now we need bearings. The bearings we're using are 1 by 3 by 1 millimeter ball bearings. And then we're going to be switching to plain bearings, which are more load bearing than these. These can only handle so much load, so I don't really trust them once we get into more heavily down-geared portions of this pulley. So this will probably be the last one I make using these, this particular pulley system, because we're already 2x4s, 4x4s. This will be 8x4s. When we get to 16x, the force of the motor, I'd be a little more concerned about these tiny little bearings handling the additional weight involved at that point. Really, bearings are so small, you drop one, it's like, okay, that's just off. Like, yeah, I can say it, but they're small. They're small. Helps when you're working on such small stuff just to use the magnifier visor so you don't feel something so small. Because under magnification, everything looks like I think so, but easier to tolerate. Baby sizes and everything. Oh, and also another cool trick is I like to take the folds of my shirt. Let me show you this trick I found. It's kind of funny, but I'm storing a needle right here. So I'm using my shirt. I just pull up a fold and stick the needle in. Close up so you can see what I'm doing. I got 2 needles stored. And then here I've got stored right here. That's already pre-threaded. I just stuck it in a little bit. Oh, I stuck it all the way through. You can see it, this sharp right here. Tip of it. And then inside here I've got my suturing needle. And I also stored a bearing right there. You can see the bearing. So it's kind of like a little cubby pouch. This button right here, as you can store a lot of tiny stuff. And that's been really useful. Okay. Let's. Not being careful. So this particular pulley is going to be the first pulley I've made that is not a double decker pulley where it's like 2 bearings, 3 flanges stacked. This one's just going to be a single bearing and 2 flanges, or 2 discs on either side, sandwiching the bearing in the center. I lost the last disc I made. That's one downside using clear plastic is it's like camouflage because you see through it, so if it falls somewhere, unless the light kind of catches it just right, it becomes like invisible. So I try to very articulate about where I put it down here. Alright, I want to make as I get more confident with my tactics, probably going to start mass producing a little bit more. Like I'll do like hundreds of these discs at a time while watching a TV show or audiobook. So that'll just be ready to go on any one. As opposed to like cutting it out. That's what I do with a lot of this stuff. I like once everything's proven, I can like start doing stuff more assembly line style, like just doing all the discs at a time, sewing all the motors at a time. Just like do one job in bulk. But I can't really do anything in bulk because if I make a mistake and I find out the way I'm doing it's like not good, I'd have to undo all of it. Do all of it, so I kind of have to do everything just once until I have everything, all my ideas are proven. Today was a big grouping. With that first couple pulleys working perfectly. Oh my goodness, it's so nice. It's completely silent. I don't hear anything. Okay. So that's it. Yeah, I found a disc. It's on the load. Okay. Ow. just right here. Just trying to picture like where the center of the bearing will be, and just offset it from center. Where the center of the opening of the bearing will be. The opening is 1 millimeter in diameter for the 1 by 3 by 1 millimeter ball bearings that I'm using. Okay, I just threaded it in. See it? Next string I want to put on is the yellow stuff. What's up, Hickley? I'm making bearing-based pulleys for down bearing my brushless DC motor for my Humanoid robot project. Let's see. Making the pulleys, basically. I'm going to push the needle through this piece of plastic. But if it goes through all of the layers of paper, go right in my hand, so I'm not sure there's enough paper here. I'm sure that's not going to happen. Because I push really hard. Oh, get some. Okay, so now we got both of our needles out here. They both went through the plastic disc. Two equal threads went through. Oh my goodness, the bearings like so cute actually. can't even get 2 sewing needles through it at the same time. That's how tiny opening it is. It's funny, man. It's like, well, it's small. That's exactly what I want. It'd be fun if one day I'm like surgical pliers, scalpel, and the robot hands me these tools as I'm looking at the robot system. It's kind of like doing surgery. All this little tiny stuff all the time. There you can see all 3 parts hanging out. Disc, buried in the middle. Slide it together. Make sure this turns out. Alright, so moving down the black string. As well as getting some glue on the outer parts of the plastic discs. A whole layer across all the plastic for the most part. And a layer across all of the string, even including, especially including the knot. So the knot can't untie. It's not a particularly special knot. So it will untie otherwise, or loosen, to stay taut, to hold the discs tightly down. As a matter of fact, after I'm done applying the glue, as the glue dries, I should tighten the knot a little bit, snug. And now I should just hit it with a little bit of spray. Okay, just lost my glue again. It's like not a good time to run. I want to say that. I was going to say not a good time to be me, but that's not true. I mean, I'm getting to work on my project right now. Thankful for that. But I've just been struggling a lot with things falling on the ground and then having like a million things above me that are stopping me from being able to like kind of look at this. I've got a robot arm in front of me. I've got the webcam lamp here. I've got some major laser action on my head. I got a million things on my stomach and lap. It's just, I'm not very mobile right now. But it's worth it since I can work in the comfort of my executive luxury office chair. So better than hunching over a workshop desk, work table. Although it can be good to mix up. I do some stand-up work at other times. That's one beautiful photo right there. It's great. So I'll keep the tension on both sides like this. Between these two fingers, I got the black string with tension, and between these two, I got the yellow holding the center. Now I can perfectly glue the yellow string on the outside flange, make them one solid structure. Super glue. Actually, pour all the glue. Applying the glue to my sewing needle. show you guys like next to something you know the size of how small this is. Quick editor's note on the pulleys. You know how I did the black string wrapped around the outside of the pulley and then through the center of the pulley on one side, and then the yellow string through the other side, which connects to another pulley or wraps around another pulley on the bottom part of it, the yellow string. Well, I want to put a black string around the top and the bottom lined up with the yellow. So the yellow, because it's like more of a V shape on the bottom where it ties off, so it can pull without like crushing the two plastic discs that sandwich the pulley. We want to wrap a black string around that part too to prevent the string that goes through the actual outer race of the pulley from popping out of its channel, particularly with the double pulleys. So let me show you what I mean by that. So basically, we've got that, and we've got our bearing inside, and we've got that, and we've got our next bearing, and we've got that. Okay, so we want a black string going through on that side, and we want a black string going through on that side. So the black string goes through the center and then all the way around the outer part of the three plastic discs, and then the black string goes through the center all the way around the three plastic discs. And then from that's like a top view. From the other view, it'd be like this. The black string would go like that, and then the other black string would go like that, and then the yellow string would come down and tie off here. And then the discs are like this. 2, 3. And the bearings over here. Alright, so we'll have a black string wrapped around through the center, then all the way around the outside, through the center, then all the way around the outside. So 2 wraps on the black string, and then the yellow string goes through and comes way down here. Since the yellow string leaves this gap between the knot and the outside of the plastic discs, that's where a string that comes through the top, like this, one that comes through the top, could jump this gap, because there's enough area in here that it could come out of here and slot into that, and then the 2 yellow strings coming from the top would then be in the same channel. So in order to keep them in their respective channels, having a string go across right here snugly would make it impossible for this yellow string that comes down from jumping over into this rightmost channel. So it would have to stay in the leftmost channel. It could not cross over channels. By having a nice tight string here that goes through the center and then around the outside. It's snug and there's no gap, so this cannot jump over to the side. And whereas, since there's a big gap here, it could jump over if there weren't a black string underneath. So we're going to have a black string here and here from now on, and then the yellow string like that. And this shows the side view, black string coming out toward us, and then up back toward the back. And then the yellow string would like be coming out toward us like this, and then the main rope would come down from the top way back there, like that, for the 2 main ropes. This is like looking at it from the underside or from the top side, however you want to think about it. And then this is a side. I mean, this is a side view. So those are 2 different views of it. So I'll add that to my notes. That will make it a lot more reliable for the double pulleys particularly. like half an hour. I'll probably be able to make these in like 5 minutes before. Because I have to make, I have 300 motors, and then I have to make, what is it, 2, 4, 5, 6, like 7 pulleys per motor. So I have to make 2,100 pulleys. That's my estimate. That's not including the motors in the head either. That's just the body. So it might end up being like 2,500 body. 2,500 pulleys is going to make you pulley making expert. Hours of pulley making. Oh my goodness. That's interesting. Quick at making them, that's for sure. Yeah, it'll be much faster when I because that included like all the time talking and explaining stuff. I'll be able to go way faster by just kind of like 100 of these at a time watching the movie, and these will already be done. And I'll get much faster at threading them. Yeah, everything's going to be way faster, so I'm not worried about it. Things are slow when you're doing it like the first time. That was literally my first single pulley I ever did. Peace out, boys. Alright, quick editor's note. I realized I said 300 motors times 7 pulleys per motor. That would be 2,100 pulleys I'd have to make by hand to do the whole robot's body, not including the facial expression ones, which I'm not including. I didn't even make any plans for those motors yet, because that's like bonus extra work at the far end of the project. So as far as like just for the robot's body, arms, legs, torso, neck, shoulders, fingers, toes, that's just 300 motors. So 2,100 pulleys to down gear all of those. But I realized, wait a minute, the robot is going to be able to make those pulleys once he's got a working arm and working eyes. For eye-hand coordination, he'll be able to start taking over the work to build the rest of his own body. That's been our plan. And so for that, we're only going to need maybe like 25 motors. So 7 times 25 is... Oh man, I can't do that. 175 pulleys. Now if we figure at about like 20 minutes per pulley is probably going to be my average once I get a little faster. 3,500 minutes divided by 60, 58 hours. Between 58 to 65 hours. So that's like a couple weeks of full-time work. We can get all the pulleys done to make my robot capable of taking over that work for us. So that'll be pretty cool. So it's not going to be too bad at all. The robot will be able to make pulleys for sure. I'm confident.